When he was sat down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, Have thou nothing to do with that just man?
You see, oh, what did she just call him?
Have nothing to do with that just man.
A white woman says, what about a black man?
Just man.
Just man. Just meaning innocent.
Right.
Now, Pilate was a Gentile leader of the Israelite people. And he's there in the city on the feast day. Him being a leader of the Israelites can't just judge according to Caesar's law, but he also has to judge according to the Israelite law.
That's right.
So that means the governor Pilate was very well versed in the Israelite law. He knew what breaking the Sabbath looked like. He knew what breaking the dietary law looked like.
Yeah.
Therefore, he could pass judgment. You can't pass judgment on a law you don't know.
Right.
So Pilate here, having knowledge and understanding of the Israelite law, knew that Christ never transgressed any part of the Israelite law.
That's right.
So Christ was what?
Just man.
Just man. He was a just man who was what? Keeping the law.
That's right.
Right? She said, have thou nothing to do with this just man. It's been troubling me all day.
Right.
I haven't been able to take a nap without the Most High afflicting me. Read.
Right. His wife sent unto him, saying, Have nothing to do with that just man, for I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him.
Read.
But the chief priests and elders.
Wait. Read that. Who were these people again?
The chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitude.
Persuaded. What does the word persuade mean? It means to convince.
Right.
You have to try to, you're throwing everything at them to be like, choose this person. Imagine what you have to do for a person to say, instead of getting this good person who's done nothing wrong, imagine how much persuading you have to do to get somebody to choose the serial killer.
Wow, yeah, that's true.
Right? Think about that. Think about how hard you have to convince somebody. Listen, this guy broke the Sabbath. I know this guy killed a bunch of people, but this guy, he broke the Sabbath.
Right.
They are seriously trying to convince the Israelite people to take the murder. So what does this tell us about the Jews, right? What does this tell us about the Jews? It tells us that even the Jews weren't convinced.
Right. They had to be persuaded.
They had to be persuaded. So even the Jews weren't convinced that Christ deserved death.
Right.
See, why didn't they just say, take both of them? Keep Barabbas and you get rid of Christ. How about that? No, they weren't. Even the Jews weren't convinced that Christ deserved death. Right. Because the chief priests and the elders had to convince them to choose Christ. Right. Had to convince them to take Barabbas. So even that proves that they knew that Christ hadn't really done anything wrong.
Right.
Because what? For he knew that envy they had delivered him. They brought him there because of envy.
That's right.
Let's go ahead and read verse 21.
Go back to verse 20.
Verse 20.
But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas.
The same people who went to conspire against him after he showed them up in front of the people at the synagogue. The same people who said, we're going to conspire to destroy him because we can't get him with the law. Those same people convinced the multitude of Israel that they should take Barabbas
and destroy Jesus. Verse 21. The governor answered and said unto them, Whether of the twain will ye that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas.
They chose Barabbas. It worked. Read.
Pilate said unto them, What shall I do then with Jesus, which is called Christ? They all say unto him, Let him be crucified.
Let him be crucified. Let's get verse 23.
Verse 23. And the governor said, Why? What evil hath he done?
See that? Knowing the law, he says, what evil has this man done? What is he? He hasn't killed anybody. He hasn't broken any of your laws. Why do you want to kill him so bad?
Even the Gentile is questioning.
The Gentile is crushing. He's like, listen, you guys are killing this dude for no reason. This is a white dude.
That's right.
A white dude who's ruling over Israel. Israel is in captivity right now, and he's asking why it is that you want to spare this man.
That's right.
That you won't spare this man. But check out the answer that they give him.
What evil hath he done? But they cried out the more, saying, let him be crucified.
They couldn't even give him a reason.
That's right. Just kill him. we just want you to kill him.
No, they didn't say, well, it's because he broke the Sabbath, because they couldn't say that.
Right.
They didn't say it's because he was eating pork, because he wasn't eating pork.
Right.
They didn't say it's because he wasn't keeping the feast, because he had kept the feast just that morning,
That's
just
right.
the day before.
That's right.
All they could say was just kill him.
That's right.
We don't care if he did anything bad or not. Kill him.
That's right.
They couldn't even give Pilate an answer.
Mm.
So was Christ keeping the law?